Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, we've got the special for you tonight, the phenomenon. It's real and we're looking at it right now. Watch this. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? There's something in the sky moving at a rapid rate of speed, and right now we have no explanation to what we're looking at. Guys, I want to get your comments. We've got a lot of stuff that we're going to roll over tonight. The UFO evidence is strong, and right now there's something in the sky. I think it's Peru. We got Brent and Paula here, and we're going to be going over and breaking down what we're looking at in tonight's episode. So right away, Brent, what's your thoughts here? Is this something celestial in nature?
Yeah, this is pretty cool stuff right here. I was thinking, could it be something exactly celestial in nature? But then we're seeing it come through the clouds, and then it starts to do this kind of rotation right there in the end, which really captures my eye. You can see it kind of like rotate from right to left. Have you ever seen anything like this from a celestial meteorite or something like that, Blake? Paula?
I mean, I've definitely never, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this from a meteorite, but to me, this is really crazy because it looks like almost like a TR3B, the way it's triangular. I mean, I don't think celestial events are triangular in nature, but the way it's rotating, you can definitely see it's triangular as it's rotating. You can see the corners, so it's pretty crazy footage. I don't know if they could fake that with the fog around it. I mean, what do you guys think? You worked in special effects.
Well, absolutely. Looking at this and trying to pull this off and make it look like it's real would be pretty hard to do. I'm looking at this and I'm pretty much saying that what we're looking at is 100% authentic. Could it be one craft? Guys, is this the infamous TR3B, or is this some kind of drone display? Again, I have no idea, but we're looking at something right now. More information coming in from around the world. Watch this. Confirmation of the phenomenon once again captured on a security cam. The motion tracker notices something in the night sky, tracks on it, and right now we're looking at it for the first time right here at Third Phase Moon. What's going on here? At first I thought it could have been a helicopter rising up, but I'm not seeing any FAA lights, any helicopter blades. There's something that seems organic here. It's a phenomenon, a real natural phenomenon. No CGI going on. Brent, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, you can see it right there as it kind of, the artifacts hits the right side of the screen right there. That's what I like about it. We can see that it's illuminating on top of the lens that's recording this, the security cam. This is pretty cool. It almost looks like this static ball lightning, and it just gets charged right there at the end. As you can see, the security cam actually track this thing. What is this?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know there is a phenomenon known as ball lightning. Is that what's coming to your mind here, Paula?
Yeah, that's really what comes right to mind for me with this is ball lightning is definitely a very interesting phenomenon. It looks like it may be kind of stormy in this area, but what I think is really interesting is how it's tracked when it's moving. If it's a light, why would it be tracked in a motion or sensed in a motion detector? That's what I think is very interesting.
Well, looking at it again, and the motion tracker definitely is capturing something through its sensor, but I'm trying to get some scale and size of whatever this thing is, and I'm thinking that this thing is at least, 10 to 20 feet in diameter. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, what I like about this is that you can see it clip over the house right there. That's really a good shot, and it just keeps growing. Is it getting closer to the camera, or is it getting more expanded with power? It's hard to judge distance in between this to really get an estimate on the size, but whatever it is, it's illuminating the whole thing, the whole area.
Again, more mysteries coming in, and we've got more videos for you. So let's just roll the next one. Guys, take a close look at this.
UFO. UFO.
two vector-shaped craft just hovering in the sky, broad daylight. We're watching it once again. At first I thought we were looking at something manipulated. I was thinking CGI right off the bat, but then the closer we look at this with the parallax that's going on with the camera, there's something locked in up there. And after watching this more than probably 20 times, we're sharing it with you here at Third Phase Moon, and we're believing that this is authentic footage at this moment. And if we could find out if this is a hoax, we'll let you know. But at this point in time, we're thinking what we're looking at is actually up there in the sky. Believe it or not, it's something that's still unexplained. Brent, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I pulled this up the other day and I showed it to Blake. I'm like, check this out. And I'm thinking, is this too good to be true? And Blake was almost ready to push it aside. I kept like looking at this thing closer, and you could see how the cameraman, he tugs the camera and it kind of creates the parallax, and you can see it besides and behind the tree itself, and the blur matches everything. The way the camera's reacting to what's up there in the sky seems pretty legit. Now, again, what are we looking at? Could this be new Chinese technology? This is where this is captured. Is this a new toy that they're about to drop everywhere? Right now, we just don't know what it is. It's very stunning.
Yeah, absolutely. Could it be like kites or some kind of drone displayed with LED lights, LED light display, something new, something I haven't seen here in America, but China's coming up with all kinds of inventions. Apollo, what's your thoughts here?
What comes to mind for me first when I look at this is projection mapping. I've seen a lot of that at different festivals and different places around the world. It's kind of like a new technology that a lot of people are using, and it's really cool to see it on buildings and things that are moving. But I think it could very well be likely that some projection mapping was used with this.
Absolutely. We're rolling. This is in real time, guys, and we're sharing with you the next video coming into third phase. Paraglider captures something. We shared this with you last week, but right now we have the extended footage, so we wanted to do some enhancements, get a closer look at what's going on here in real time. Again, the information is so fast and liquid at Third Phase Moon. It's buckle up time. Guys, what's going on here? A humanoid? Brent?
Yeah, again, we just got the extended version, so we said, let's just drop it. Actually, it's a better quality than what we did a couple weeks ago when this came out on Third Phase of Moon for the first time. Again, you can just see this thing kind of like moving away. Is this thing actually, it looks like it almost has propulsion right there. Here's another close-up as it comes in, and we get to see some good detail as it approaches this paraglider. Here it comes. Again, right there, it has this unique shape. Balloons don't really stay horizontal, so this is kind of interesting too at the same time.
Did you notice that, Brent? It just banked from right to left. It changed directions in the middle of the video. So again, we're watching this, and it's hard to tell what exactly is going on, but this is legit, no CGI. What's your thoughts on this one, Apollo?
When I first look at this, I'm almost reminded of a person that, I'm sure you've seen all the videos of like the Rocket Man, or like the person who is like using a jet propulsion system or whatever for flying. But this person, it almost looks like they have like I feel like it looks like a person with a gliding suit almost, from pictures I've seen of that. But I mean, I don't know, it could also be some sort of flying object. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell from seeing from so far away.
Is this Elon Musk playing around with some kind of neat jet propulsion that wants to get around, and they're just playing with this technology and not sharing it with us right now? Could it be on the open market, individual jet propulsion kind of new technology shared? I don't know. We're looking at this, and as Apollo said, we've been seeing this over LAX over the years and all kinds of Jetman sightings.
Yeah, this one's still curious. This is a really good capture, and it's unique because this is a paraglider pretty much flying parallel with this thing as it's moving, and he's getting the best shot he can under the conditions. Right now, what we're seeing is something unidentified. We don't know what's the propulsion behind it. Could it just be a balloon just up there? We just don't know, but it's a very good one, and this guy did a great job capturing this.
Yep, that's why we're sharing it with you. We're sharing it with the public and wanting to get your opinions. And there are UFOs that have been archived in the past, the vintage videos, the VHSs, there's so much technology that is yet to be revealed due to the fact that people were out there with their VHS cameras capturing the UFO phenomenon. So I want to share with you right now some incredible vintage footage that you may have never seen. And guys, I want to get your thoughts. Again, this is before even computers existed. So just watch this. It's quite amazing footage coming from the 1980s of something in the sky.
Never. I suppose it could be something extraterrestrial. Never. I suppose it could be something extraterrestrial. I mean, it would be just really arrogant to think that we were completely alone in the universe. But at the same time, you know, I only filmed and saw what I saw. Yeah. Well, to people who say that it must be a plane or something like that, I'd say, you know, just take a long, hard look at this thing, because it just doesn't look like any of those things. And, you know, I can't imagine how anyone could think it was anything like that. After 2 minutes or so, I think, it actually flew, I'm not sure entirely, but I think it was right overhead. And it had sort of turned into like a black circle, and all I could see was just this kind of black circle. Aware of this object in the middle of my windscreen that I was driving straight towards. I carried on driving for about a minute, and then I realised that this wasn't like an ordinary plane or a helicopter. I wasn't frightened or elated. The whole event just seemed completely strange and completely something unlike anything else I'd experienced, really.
So we're looking at this once again, and we're going to actually break this down. Computers, they existed, but editing software to do this kind of illusion doesn't exist. We're looking at something that was actually factually up in the air, hanging up there. This guy sees something he can't explain. And this is a typical flying saucer, like Bob Lazar stated. It has this kind of wobble dynamic to it, kind of unstable, but then again, still seemingly define the laws of physics here, Brent. Yeah, again, this could be actually some of the best footage I've ever seen, and it's so cool that, look at this thing, it just starts to launch. It's going up into the sky at a really incredible rate of speed. It's staying flat, it's not oscillating too much. Whatever this thing is, it looks exactly like the gimbal. It looks like a typical classic flying saucer. This is, again, for being VHS, no After Effects in those days, no editing software to create an illusion like this. Here's a flat part of it looking straight up at this disc, because we saw it on the flat edge. Yeah, Blake, this is badass footage right here. Absolutely. Apollo, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think it's really incredible. It doesn't get much better than this.
You know, it is crazy to look at this information coming in, and we've got a lot more stuff coming in for you from around the world in real time, and we'll bring the vintage stuff as it comes in as well. But I wanted to share with you a recent adventure. Brent and I were lucky enough to meet with Paula Sterry on location. We wanted to show her the pyramid that we discovered a few years ago. She was inquiring about it. We said, okay, let's do it and enjoy this adventure. It was quite wild, and it was kind of insightful of what we discovered. Buckle up for this.
Okay, so this place is not at all what I expected. This is really incredible. I mean, the energy that I can feel coming up through here is definitely something different. I mean, I feel like I'm in a movie scene right now, but you know, apparently this spot may be an ancient structure. And you know, from my own research, Hawaii is the last remnant of Lemuria. So maybe there's some very interesting locations here that were left by humans, like even like 100,000 years, a few 20,000 years ago, or even more. Who knows? That, you know, is just completely lost to time, and definitely feels like an Indiana Jones movie, that's for sure. So this is pretty interesting.
Made it.
I made it.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so what's going on here? I think I see something behind you here. This looks very interesting. Is this the spot?
Well, you know, we're walking over here about 5 years ago, and we're looking for bottles and, you know, treasure hunting. And we came across this thing. You're seeing a little peek of it right now, but we've been asking around. We're looking for geologists, archaeologists to confirm exactly what we found here. But here, come take a closer look. Tell me what you see here. So it's embedded on the side of the wall. I don't know, it's about 30 feet high. It has a step pyramid, kind of like what you see in the Mayan architecture of pyramids, but nothing like this I've ever seen anywhere in the state of Hawaii. You seen what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
Like,
you know, I'm seeing like what looks like a wall here where it seems like there's a step out just slightly on each level. But I don't know if I see like that there'd be another side of this. I mean, have you tried to go around these trees here to see if there's another side? I mean, it definitely looks man-made to me, the way it's just these different kind of smaller steps coming out like that. So who knows?
I know Brent's up there. He's kind of seeing if there's any other, like, you know, another side to this pyramid, but at the moment, we're not seeing any indicators, but I think we should get a closer look. And remember, there's fire ants around here, so we don't want to touch anything.
Don't touch anything.
It's like,
you know, this definitely looks like a man-made wall. It definitely looks whether it's a wall or if is a pyramid or something. It's definitely not something that I feel like could be formed by nature here in the middle of the jungle. It definitely looks like something.
let's get around here and get a closer look over here.
You know, as I'm getting closer to this, I'm starting to notice that these rocks, the way that they're coming together on this wall, it really reminds me of some different sites I've seen in Peru, like Ollantaytambo and Machu Picchu, because the Incans, they would put their rocks in the walls kind of together in the same sort of way. And also previous cultures, they were saying, and I kind of can see how these seem to be fit together in a certain way like that. It almost seems similar, but much more rough, which could mean it's more ancient. I mean, what do you think? Do you think this is actually an ancient wall, or do you think it may be a little more new?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I find interesting is the bedrock itself. It seems that there's steps carved into the bedrock, so that's indicating like some pretty heavy-duty stonework. And I'm not really familiar with Hawaiians actually carving steps out of bedrock. I know they actually, you know, made temples out of rocks, but this seems geometric in shape as well, and it's like, again, geometric, so it could be an indicator of like new construction or maybe geometric old construction like the Mayan temple. But it's just, these are answers we're looking for. We don't have the answers at the moment, but still, it's out in the middle of nowhere and it stands out. Like, it looks, it doesn't look normal, that's for sure. Here, come, get up closer and see these steps that I'm talking about. So, I don't know, there's a circle here. I don't know if this is all carved out. Thinking I was gonna see some kind of metal ring or a pipe maybe for irrigation or...
Okay, now that I'm looking at this, I'm seeing something very interesting in regards to the spacing in between each of these layers. It seems to me like each layer, so we can see there's this one, this layer, looks like 4 layers, and each of them seem to be pretty evenly spaced. And also the way the rocks are coming together, it reminds me of a lot of spots I've seen in Peru, the way the Incans put their stones together when they built structures. So
is there like mortar in between the stones over there? Because it seems like there's some mortar
You know,
between
I
the
don't
stones.
notice mortar between the stones there. But yeah, it definitely looks like there's some mortar between the stones here. You said that you've asked around in Hawaii to see if anyone knew what structures may have been here before, and everyone said they didn't know what
We're
you were
actually
talking
calling
about.
up the UH Hilo, the university, trying to get people to take a look at this, give some answers. We reached out to the major news over here in the state, and nobody's coming out to take a look. You're the first.
There's no ancient evidence
You're the
of
first person
ancient
since we found
structures
this.
here on the island.
Oh, well, there's
that
ancient
are-
structures on the island, and I've never seen anything with mortar. So, again, it's hard to tell if it's like ancient. But then again, these vines indicate that it's been grown over for at least a couple hundred years. So who was doing this 200 years ago? That's another question.
I mean, do you think this is like a corner over here? Or do you think this is just a wall
Hey,
Hey, Brent.
so what do you think?
So I think this is definitely very interesting. It looks man-made to me. I mean, these steps that are coming out, I think you guys definitely found something very interesting.
It's definitely interesting. What I like is that we got the banyan roots just overlaying this whole structure right here. And the banyan tree wasn't introduced to Hawaii till the late 1790s or something like that. So for this to have wrapped around and created all this over, let's say, 200 years, this thing's been here a while.
Definitely. And you know, the structure itself to me doesn't really look like something that would be a more modern structure. The way it's built with the steps on it, I mean, it doesn't seem like any sort of like more modern form of building to me. I mean, out of like, you know, the different other places in Hawaiian culture that you've seen here, have you ever seen anything
Never
like
seen
this?
anything like this. That's why we found this, and we thought this was unique, and that's why we're sharing it. We've shared this on Third Phase of Moon quite a bit of times, but never really got the airplay. So why not share it with you and while you're here in Hawaii?
Yeah, thank you so much for showing me. This is incredible.
You want to climb this thing?
Yeah, you know, I've actually been rock climbing my whole life. I'm a professional rock climber, and this seems a very simple structure. Brent over here doesn't want me climbing very high, but I think I can at least get to the second here and see, you know, if I can get a closer look on what may be above me. So
All right, just to
let me
the
get started
second,
here.
not
We'll
much
see.
more than that, and
All right.
be careful there.
Yep, there's a sturdy root right here. So.
I don't know. I see some fire ants
Yeah,
crawling on you, or
you
what?
know, I've heard that there's these microscopic ants crawling around on here, and I actually do think I see a few, so I'm gonna come back down just because,
Do you see anything while you're up there?
you know, I am getting bit by fire ants right now, but I do see, I can see the layers a little more closely now, and it seems like there are some, it looks like lava rock that this is made out of in some places, which I think is kind of interesting.
Between that rock, I'm not seeing grout up there.
No, I'm not seeing anything between the rocks up here.
Just take it down, get out of the fire ants. Watch your step.
All right.
Oh wow. So you're saying there's no mortar up on those rocks, and it's how's those fire ants?
You know, I think there were some crawling around on my hands, so kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I didn't notice any mortar up here.
It looks like different
It
rock
seemed
from
like
up
more
there
like
than it is
lava
down
rock.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, up there I actually noticed that it seemed like there were lava rock, you know, like the rock with the holes in it, the porous like lava rock. This is like a different kind of stone for sure than what I saw up there. Definitely looks like lava rock up there. Okay, so I'm looking at this leaf right now, and just to give you a perspective on what I'm dealing with these fire ants up there, I mean, they're literally all over everything. It's crazy because you don't really see it until you're right up on it, and there's tons of little tiny microscopic red ants on this leaf right here. You know, I've been looking at maybe if there's another way I can climb up further down or something, but it does seem like a lot of these leaves around here are covering these fire ants, and apparently if you get bit by them, then it stings like a bee. So my hands do feel a little itchy right now. I'm not sure if I was hit by one yet, but I definitely saw some when I was climbing up there, so it's pretty crazy. definitely a corner here. So that's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
This is kind of a standalone structure, that's for sure. But